welcome to Sarah's Stamp Retreat. Today we're going to be creating a card using the inlaid die-cutting technique and the Celebrate Sunflowers stamp set and Sunflowers dies from Stampin' Up. So this is a lovely stamp set, but we're just going to be using one of the sentiments from this today. So we're going to be using this Let's Celebrate You, and then this coordinating die set has this detail die on. So this is the one that we're going to be using today. But it also has some separate leaves, some bits that cut out pieces from the stamp set. So all of these pieces can be cut out using these dies here. And then it's got some more detailed dies as well. So to create this card, I've used a 5x5 inch card blank from Bumblebee cardstock. So that's 10 inches by 5 inches scored and folded in half. Then I've got a 4-inch square piece of basic black cardstock, a 3 3/4 inch piece of basic grey cardstock. And what I've done with the basic grey cardstock is I've used this die to cut this out of the centre. So you can see I've got this. I don't actually need this piece for today, so I can use that for a different project. So I'll put that to one side. I've also cut this out of a piece of basic black cardstock. I've cut just the centre out of a piece of early espresso cardstock. And then I've also run it through the machine with some Bumblebee cardstock, and I've put a dryer sheet behind that. I've used the dryer sheet because the dryer sheet helps keep all the pieces in place. So you can see how I'm going to use that in a second. So it's all using this detail die. So here I've got a piece of one of our adhesive sheets, and I'm just going to pop it on here because I'm just going to cut it just slightly smaller than this grey piece. So I'm going to take that off here. Now this adhesive sheet isn't the same as some other adhesive sheets on the market. It doesn't come off in like a tape. So I'm going to pop that onto this basic black piece. I'm going to make sure that's nicely lined up. Then I'm going to peel the backing off. So you can see it's just kind of like a layer of glue rather than kind of a tape sheet like a lot of the products on the market. Then I'm going to pop this over the top. And then I'm just going to slot this basic black outline of the sunflower in. And then inlaid die cutting is when you put pieces of other die cuts into this one. So I'm going to use this early espresso piece for in the centre. And then the reason I wanted to keep these pieces all in place is so that I could see exactly where they go, because this is kind of like the more jigsaw portion of it. So now I'm going to take I call it my pick-me-up tool, but I can't remember exactly what the proper name of it is, but I will link it in the description below so that you'll know. And then I'm just going to pop these pieces into here. And because I've got the adhesive underneath, I don't need to add glue or anything, they're just popping. And I've oriented my sunflower in a similar way to the one that I've got on here, so that I can just pick them up and slot them in without really having to think too much about it. And I think that if you love like jigsaws and things, then you're probably going to love this as well. It's a really nice little process to do. So then we've got our lovely inlaid sunflower, and you'll see that it gives a lovely texture and almost a mosaic-y type quality. So then I've got some basic black cardstock. I'm going to use the Let's Celebrate You sentiment from the stamp set. I'm just going to ink that up with Versamark ink so that we can do some heat embossing. So I'm going to stamp that on there. So then let's pour over some white embossing powder. And you'll be able to see that I've stamped this a bit wonkily, but when I cut it down, then I can cut it so that it looks straight again. So let's heat that up with my heat tool on setting 2. Now I'm just going to chop that down. There's my sentiment, and now I can just layer up my card. I'm just going to glue my layers together. And I'm just going to put some dimensionals behind that sentiment. So I'm just going to use some of these bits from the outside, some of the kind of waste bits, because I always think those are really good for the sentiments. And there's my card finished. So it's a really nice technique to get a really striking effect. So I really hope that you liked today's card. If you do, I'd appreciate you clicking like below, and you can also press subscribe if you'd like to see future videos. If you press the bell button and select all, then you'll also receive notifications when I've got a new video available. All of the products that we've used for today's card are listed in the description below. There's also a host code there, so if you pop the host code into your basket before you check out, then I'll send you a free gift after the end of the month. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you again soon.